Hey family, this is episode number 68 of Latin Vegan or Latino Vegano, and I'm your host, Roger. Veganism is my passion, and for the last 20 years, I have been living a vegan lifestyle with no sign of stopping. Now, my main focus is to help y'all, all new vegans, vegan curious, to make that transition. I want to thank you guys for each week supporting this podcast or my YouTube channel. I really can't be making this without you guys. Thank you guys for listening, for subscribing, for giving likes, for our social media support, or anything you guys do for this brand. Thank you so much, guys. Please remember to continue giving the support so we can reach to more people. For today, I want to share with you guys 6 of the most common mistakes new plant-based eaters or vegans do. So stay tuned and let's get it.
latinoyvegano.com.
So before I start pointing out some of the most common mistakes new vegans are making, I feel that it's important that I mention why is that people fail. Why is that when people adapt a plant-based diet or go vegan, later on some of those people fail or come out saying that, this wasn't for me, it didn't work out, I can't be vegan, I have to eat meat, so on and so forth. I had a deep analysis about this, and I really, really feel that not much different to anything else that you do in life. There's not much different to how you fail on a job or fail in a relationship or you fail in a school project than what we're talking about. Not taking all the necessary steps to accomplish your goal can lead you to failure. And that's the reason why I decided to talk about this particular topic. 6 of the most common mistakes new vegans are making. This teaching can be applied to any aspect of your life. But today, I'm using this platform to speak about the 6 most common mistakes that new plant-based eaters or vegans are making. And I'm going to mention all of them at once and then further elaborate into each individual one in no particular order. So let's start the list with not having a clear why. That's number 1 on my list. Number 2 is not knowing what to eat. Number 3 is not eating the right amount of calories or eating too many calories. Number 4, not having the proper support system. Number 5, getting the proper education. And I got number 6, listening to the outsiders telling you what to do or not to do. Those are some of my top 6. And I have a bonus one, which I'm going to touch base at the end of the recording. So stay tuned for the bonus one. So those are my top 6 reasons why most vegans are not being successful, especially new vegans. Now, let's get into each individual one. Okay, so let's talk about not having a clear why. I actually have a whole episode that I spoke about this, but to me, this is the most important one out of all 6 of them. To me, this is it. So why having a clear why makes a big difference. So to me, like I said, this is the most important one of all 6. I truly feel that for any venture that you put your mind into, you need to have a strong reason. Reason is basically a why. It's also called a why. Why am I vegan? Why am I doing this? Why I want to change my lifestyle? Why I want to eat plant-based? So that answering that question was going to give you a lot of the motivations for all the other ones. Or it's going to give you the foundation is the word that I was looking for the remaining ones. I talk about this a lot. I feel that it set the standard for when you will be in the next steps, months or days. So it kind of set the ground, right? So when your why is strong, it's hard for you not to follow through because you are very motivated. It's like a big goal. It's like a goal that you have. When your goals is powerful, you will do anything possible in your hand to be able to accomplish that. Nothing or no one is blocking you from getting to your goal. That's how I view having a strong reason or a strong why. you have to be able to ask yourself, why am I going vegan? It's for the animals, it's for the health, it's for the planet, it's for all three of them. What is my reason? And if you are able to answer that, then you should be able to have a really good foundation for your journey. For example, if you say, well, I'm going to be vegan for the animal, then you are going to continue fighting or being an activist for the animals, and that's not going to change right now. So until this is not eradicated, you're going to continue in that journey. So switching back to eating meat is not an option. If you're doing it for the environment, it's the same situation. You know, it's not like our climate is getting better. So you're going to continue in that path until we see some progress. And then you know that by not eating meat, you're not supporting that industry. You're not helping that. You actually helping eradicate or helping not be part of that fight. Then you're going to continue in that path. So that's why my why is always one of the reasons why I always talk and say that it has to be strong so you can continue in that path. Whatever that your reason is strong, is going to help you to push through and to be tough during difficult moments, difficult times, and remaining in this journey. So that's going to be my first advice, is getting a why. Not having a clear why deviates you from your main goal. So keep in mind that you need to have a strong reason why you're doing this. Number two, we talk about not knowing what to eat. That's a big mistake, because when you don't know what to eat, guess what? You fail. Going into veganism, you need to be able to adapt to that new lifestyle change. You always need to do some sort of prep work or some research or something, which I'm going to talk about in the further. But you need to have some kind of knowledge of what you're getting yourself into. A lot of new vegans jump into the lifestyle change right away without having any concept or idea of what to eat. It's like, I was one of those. I jumped into veganism without even caring much for the food aspect of it. I was just like, I'm not going to eat animal. And I hop into it, and I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out later what to eat. That's me. That works for me. I mean, I operate differently. But as you are the type of person that needs to have a lot of data or a lot of information prior to, then go ahead and do your the due diligence before that. But I learned more about nutrition early on in life than now. But for me, knowing what to eat would have been very, very, very important, because it gave me an idea of what is what I needed to consume, and then still have the necessary nutrients so I don't feel weak. A lot of people, when they jump into veganism without knowing what to eat, they don't eat enough, or they don't have enough food, or they don't eat the right amount of food, or they don't know what foods to eat, and then they start failing and they fall away, or they just drop it because they said this is not working. I can identify with those people because that was me 20 years ago. I had a strong why, but had no idea what can I eat or what to eat. My advice is to find help, ask questions, check on social media, get a recipe book, anything that will help you to figure out what is that you need to eat. Find help. I have a program that talks about how to transition into veganism from your conventional diet. So that's a good source that you can use, but there's a lot of other more materials out there also that can give you that information or what is it that you need to eat or what can you eat that help you transition smoothly away. A lot of people only consider vegan or plant-based diet that is just stripping off meat off your plate. However, there are so many other food that contain animal byproduct. That's what we need to be aware of also. Number 3 is not eating the right amount of calories or eating too much. I kind of touched base a little bit on the previous topic, but this is a very, 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 very important also too. I have heard so many stories of people that say, well, I tried vegan, but it didn't work for me. When I asked them why it didn't work for you, they kept saying, well, things like I started losing my hair, I lost weight, I gained too much weight, or I felt weak, or I always was hungry. I didn't feel like I was full, or I can't eat salad all day. I mean, and these stories go on and on and on and on. And I was challenge these people with the following comment: if you go to school, for example, right, and you didn't study for your test or your exam, and you fail your exam, did you drop out of school? Huh? Did you just say, hey, you know what? I failed my first test. You know what? School is not over yet, but I'm done. I'm just dropping off. I can't do it. School is not for me. You know, I couldn't pass my first test, so I'm just dropping off. I'm out of here. This stuff is not working. All right? Or I also use a different example. So let's say you were learning how to ride a bike for the first time. You hop on the bike. You had your training wheels, and Pop's mom took out the training wheels. You fell off the bike. You know, what should you do? Did you say, you know what, I can't bikes? You know what, I can't do bikes. Bike, that's not for me. It doesn't work. I keep falling off. It's not working. This is crap. I'm out. That's what you do? So I want to say that the majority of you guys, when I ask these questions, the answer is going to be no. No, you don't. You keep trying and trying and trying until you figure it out. So why is this different with veganism? Right? Why is this different? Yeah, I want to know why is this different with this. So why is that with something that can likely, potentially change your lifestyle, your life completely, benefit you, benefit the planet, benefit other sentient beings, is not something that you want to consider on the long term, and you're just quitting right away? Why is it in the first try? So one thing I recall when I started it, I wasn't really eating enough calories. And it was probably because I didn't know anything about nutrition. I'm still learning about the topic, but having experience and constantly educating myself on this topic helped me to get over that roadblock. For many, they quit vegan because they didn't find some enough food, or they don't find something that they were looking for. And all of these reasons are just excuses. And my advice for those is to eat enough, listen to your body, eat good food, mostly whole food, and don't hesitate to reach out to an expert in this field that can help you or can guide you. It's as simple as it sounds. If you feel hungry, eat more calories. The problem is that if you never had a good diet with your conventional diet, for example, you going to vegan, that doesn't mean that you're automatically going to have a healthier life. If you were eating burgers and fries and chips and ice cream on your regular diet, and then you eat the vegan version of those meals, that automatically is going to be the big difference in your diet. So those are things that you have to be aware of. I mean, you have to have that awareness of that you're making a transition, you're making a change. And yes, it's great that you're eliminating animal products out of your diet. This is great. That's number one. That's awesome. You need to start also learning what kind of food you need to eat so you can have a good health in the long run also. So that's one thing that a lot of people are doing. Also, if you're hungry, eat more food, eat more carbohydrate, right? Fill your plate with rainbows, how we want to call it, with rich condensed food, complex carbohydrate. Fill your plate with good quality meals. Whole food, plant-based is the way to go, and it's going to give you all the nutrients and energy you need. But you have to be aware of that, so you start educating yourself in that area. Number 4, not having the proper support system. Yes. For many, this is probably the most important of all 6. For many of you. We are social people. We always want to be accepted, validated from others, from our parents, our friends, family, school, jobs. The list goes on and on. So when you start something new like veganism or this journey, having the proper team or group of people behind you is super key for your confidence level. Most new vegans don't have a support system and fell alone during this whole transition, this process. And that can turn any new vegan off. to the point that they will probably want to quit. Well, let me tell you guys that I'm here for you. I want to be that support system, that mentor, that coach, or anything in between that you want me to be. If you ever felt that you don't have the right team behind you, join our community, our Facebook group, any of my social media. I'm here to say you guys, if anything I can do for you guys to help you transition, to help you during this process, I'm definitely here for you guys for that. Like I said, I live and breathe. I'm a mentor. I'm a coach. And that's what I do. I love helping people during this transition of the plant-based. And anything you guys need, I'm here for you guys. But I know how having a good support or a quality support system is key for a lot of you guys. Because it was for me. When I grew up, we were close family. But when I decided to go vegan, I didn't really have a support system in this whole process. The person that introduced me to veganism was my only source, pretty much. And his style was like, you on your own, figure it out, just questions needed, ask me. So that was his approach. So I didn't really have a group or a team that was like, hey, how can I do this? Or how can you do that? Like, should I eat this and should I not? I didn't really have that. I wish I would have had that because it would have made my whole experience more pleasing. So the only thing I had was just me, myself, and I, right? Like the song, right? So I'm giving you guys the opportunity to be part of this. So be part of this community. I mean, I'm always hoping to answer questions. If anyone need anything from me, I'm more than glad to let that hand and help you guys during this process because I know how lonely it feels, but it's really not that lonely once you find the right community that give you that support, and I'm here for that. Number 5 is getting the proper education. Education is key. No matter what we're talking about, it could be a career, could be any sports, it could be any field. The more educated you are, the more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be. Many new plant-based eaters, when they start on this journey, they have no type of education or minimum education, meaning they saw a few videos, maybe they saw a few TikTok or whatever they saw, and they're all right, well, I know enough, I'm jumping into it. And then that's fine. That's fine. It's just easier now to find a lot of education because of social media, so you well communicated, but at the same time, I always tell that it's also great to find the right education because it's not all educations are good education. You don't need to have a doctor's degree to be a vegan or plant-based eater, but what I do recommend is educating yourself. Read books about veganism, plant-based, watch documentary, check online, and especially follow other vegans, especially the ones that are doing great things for the community. I've been vegan for many years, right? You want to follow those guys. You want to give them a support. See what are they doing. If they're offering you an ebook or they're offering you a recipe book or they're offering you some kind of program, support them because all that content they're putting out with the most love and most respect so they can give back to the community. It's always important for the ones that are been doing this for so many years to lead the way for the next generation and so on and so forth. Then when that new generation comes, then you guys have to lead the way for that other generation. So that's how we keep improving and keep growing, right? We just continue building and creating more material, more content for the next generations to come, because what's the whole point of getting all this knowledge and having all this information and now pass it along to the next generation? We just want to give all this information, but at the same time, you guys need to understand that some of those depends on all of these stuffs, right? So depends of this. So there might be some free content out there, but there's also some paid content, and that paid content is because a lot of the people depend on all these things to survive and live in this society. So that's one thing you guys have to have into consideration. Like I was saying, you check online for other vegans, get ideas, get a mentor or a coach that can help you in the transition. Just get the proper education based on your needs that will lead you to a success, and do it with someone you look up to. So like, you're not going to go and talk to this vegan chef, for example, about fitness because that's not his expertise, right? No disrespect to it either or. So like, I will not ask a doctor about veganism if the doctor doesn't have some kind of knowledge about plant-based. I won't look for a plant-based doctor. So always try to find someone that is an expert in their field. That way you can get the proper knowledge, the proper information from that person instead of finding someone that says that they know, but they really had no idea. I recall one time, I always tell the story when I first started in the fitness industry or when I first started working out. I went to a trainer and I showed them that I wanted to look this a particular way. And once I mentioned that I was vegan, he was like, "Man, there's no way you're gonna be able to accomplish that." And then I always felt upset because the answer should have not been you can't do it. Should have been I don't know how to, but we can find out, we can figure it out. But since he had no knowledge about veganism and how to eat plant based, the first thing his first reaction was you can't do it. But it's not true. You can do it. It's just I don't know how to do it, or you don't know how to do. So that was supposed to be the right answer in that sense. So I feel the same way with anything that you guys decided to look for help with. Find the right mentor, the proper help, not just anyone, because everybody think they know, but not everybody actually know. Knowing is great, but also when you have the experience combined with the knowledge, it's actually even greater. Someone that inspire you who be somebody ideal, and with that keep educating yourself, and with that keep educating yourself on the different topics so you can keep evolving and growing. When you don't educate yourself, you don't grow. Look at it like a seed. If you don't plant that seed on a good soil, you nourish it, you water it, proper sun, in some cases fertilize it, you won't get anything out of that, right? But if you actually do all these things, then it's going to grow. Sometimes it's going to give you fruits. You keep forever. So it's the same way with your brain. It's the same way with your mind. You have to keep adding in interesting things and knowledge and learning more so you can keep growing as a person. This is applied for anything in life. It's not just only for veganism, but it's also for personal development. And last but not least is listening to the outsiders telling you what to do and not to do. To me, you're always going to get haters, or you're always going to get that opinion from that person that said, no, you should not be doing this. You should be doing this. I remember a story about it. This is not even veganism related, but I remember when I had a partner one time, and I mentioned that I wanted to go into real estate, and her answer was like, "Oh, you can't do that. You're not gonna do well because my uncle's friend, she did real estate and she failed, so you're not gonna be doing well." And I was like, "There's no way. Like, there has to be a way, because how can you see people succeeding and then now suddenly you're gonna tell me that I'm not gonna be doing well?" So what I'm saying with that is, like, you're always gonna get those comments, right? But I didn't listen to that. Even though she said that, I didn't really care. I still went for it, and I became successful. Now I own several properties and as a real estate investor. So to me, it's like, if you always let yourself message from the outside dominate your mind or dominate your ideas, you're gonna end up failing, because you're not gonna really end up doing much in life, because they're always gonna be telling you constantly what it is that they're scared of, and they will try to represent or give you that scarcity into your own world. So usually the ones telling you this, usually that you should not go vegan, that vegan is not good for you, are non-vegans. They have no nutritional background, no knowledge about our environment, and they probably not even animal lover. Or if they do like animals or love animals, it's probably just cat and dog. People's opinion shouldn't matter to you. It has to be all your decision, and you are comfortable and confident about your life, and you then go for it. Outsiders that have no concept or idea about this lifestyle can't really give you much of the time the right information. That express or comment about others is what they are based on their own fear. Meaning they won't be doing veganism because they are scared. They don't know why. They don't know how. So that scarcity is what they're reflecting. So when someone tells you, you know what? Oh, that whole vegan thing, that doesn't work. You say, why? It's just because they're scared of doing vegan, or they're scared of changing their lifestyle, or they will never do that. And then since that's what they're thinking, they reflect that thought is what they're giving back to you. It has nothing to do with you, it's them. So that's why I'm saying that you should not let outsiders control you, because what this partner of mine or ex-partner of mine was saying is that she was scared of doing it because someone else did it, so she would not put her money into it, or she would not put her mind into it, and that's why she was scared doing it. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It's just for her it will not work, because already in her mind she's saying it's not going to work for me. So she's trying to project that scarcity towards me, and that's not going to work, because I'm going to block that. I put the hand out there and say I'm blocking this coming, because it's coming. It's not going to change who I am. So they express that by telling you that they can't do it or they won't do it. This message goes with anything you want. I remember when I started also, I was one of the few vegans in my inner circle. And when it came to dating, I wasn't meeting potential partners with similar views. But that never let me change my perception or the way or my thought process. Never. Because my why was strong. So regardless if they're not vegan, they're not going to make me eat meat now because they're not vegan. That has nothing to do with me. That's something with them. So that's not going to change who I am. My parents didn't believe in my newfound lifestyle, same as my friends, but that never let me affect who I was or my thought process. So don't let outsiders change you. You have to be that change for them, right? Okay, guys, this episode I bring my top 6 reasons why new vegans fail, because I don't want vegans to fail. I don't want new vegans to fail or any vegan to fail. I want them to thrive, like I am doing, and most of my friends are doing. And I will add number 7 to this list, right? Which I think is going to be try to convince everyone at first to go vegan. I will put that as a bonus as number 7. I'm curious to see what your top 6 or top 7 list will be. And let me go ahead and put it up there so you guys can share it. You can share it in the YouTube channel, you can comment section, or you can share it in the social media. But it will be great to see what you guys' top list will be. But yeah, so number 7 will be probably try to convince everyone at first to go vegan. And this one is a very popular one for me, especially because I get it. When you're starting, you just want to talk about veganism all day. And I still do. I mean, I still talk. That's why I have a podcast, right? But I will say that I understand why we do it, and it happens to me. And I want to say not to stop being passionate about it, veganism, because continue being passionate, because we need that. And I get it. We are also happy for this lifestyle that we just want to share with the whole world, and we want everyone to turn themselves and not turn themselves, but everyone to turn vegan. That's what we want. And the idea was everybody to go vegan. But I think once you start maturing on your journey, what you're gonna find is you have to find like the right angle. It's like, what's the right angle to help people transition? What's the right angle to talk about vegan? And for some people, it's going to be food. For others, it's going to be sports. For others, it's going to be animal rights. For others, it's going to be human rights. Find that right angle. For others, it's going to be the environment. So what I'm saying with this is like, yeah, maintain that same passion. Continue growing your lifestyle. But find that right angle, how you can target different people about the lifestyle. For me, many years, I was, go vegan, don't eat animal. And that particularly for me did not work. But when I started presenting veganism from a different perspective, more from the scientific side and from the human rights and then from the animal rights, a little bit, but mostly focuses on the health aspect of veganism, I was able to capture a little bit more of an audience in my end. And then it could be because of the background that my family has. So when it comes to science and got a couple of doctors in the house and so on and so forth. So that it was a different way to approach it for me. Coming from a Latin culture, food plays a big role and culture plays a big role. So I always tell people that, our culture is so big that you have to find that right angle to talk about it. And probably the best way to do is presenting then those traditional meals, traditional plates, but in the vegan presentation, and then saying, the benefit of those. So that could be an approach too. So just find that right angle that works for different crowds. And then once you do, then go ahead and talk about veganism, because if you have less people eating meat, less people eating animal product, it's less animals that we're consuming, so it's less most animals alive. So it's like a trigger effect. So I kind of advise you to kind of handle it that way in some cases. So you have to sense, you see what works best for you with time. But I can see that number 7 will be trying to convince everyone, because I was like a Dr. Sebi, just like Tadeo says in my interview with him, that you're trying to convince everyone, and then eventually people start kind of like turning off, and some turns on, some turns on. It depends on the person's personality and how you reach into them. This is the 6 mistakes new beginners make. It's just a short representation of those and my experience. I talk a lot about this. This is a lot of the things. It's not all of them happens to me in my personal journey, but I would love to hear your list. It's important to have a clear why. Like I always say, this is my number 1. Getting ahead of what to eat and what not to eat is very crucial. Eating too many or not enough calories plays a big role in your development and your transformation. Having a support system around you is definitely key. You need to have a proper team behind you, or at least group of people that you can reach out to. Being educated, having the proper education, and blocking all the outside noise is very also good for your whole transition. Allows you to kind of grow into this lifestyle without feeling like you are an outsider or you are weird or anything like that, even though you might be weird too though. Yeah, so this is a good head start. This is a good list, and I added number 7, which is trying to convince everyone to go vegan, as a little bonus there. So it would be definitely nice to see what you guys' list is. I personally wish I had all these when I started it. A group of people, or at least a mentor that I can reach out to when I needed it. I found a lot of my answers my own self. But I want to admit that the vegan community, especially when I moved to the US, was so openly, and they were so friendly, and especially in the athlete side, that for me, I felt like right at home right away. So I want to give that same feeling to any of my Latinos, anyone from any part of the world, no matter where you're from, where you are. We all represent humans, we all represent humanity, we represent our communities. I want to help you guys, or support you guys in your journey as well. So don't feel like you're a loner. You can do it. I'm here for you guys. And if this list helps you, let me know. Is this list, you think I'm missing something? Also let me know. But the one thing that I would like to let you know is that I'm your coach, I'm your mentor. If you ever need help, reach out to me and in my social media, and I'm going to be here available for you guys to help you guys transition to a healthier, happier vegan lifestyle. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for the support, for the love. See you guys in the next episode number 69, next week. In the meantime, love, peace.
Gracias por escuchar Latino y Vegano, un show donde se habla todo lo relacionado sobre el veganismo entre la comunidad latina. No olviden suscribirse a este podcast, seguirnos en Instagram, Facebook, YouTube y a visitarnos en latinoyvegano.com.